jáde ó jáde.
Alright guys, welcome back again to the channel. As usual, back to let you know what's happening with the team. So yesterday we saw a very unwanted event happen in the local NPFL league, and even though this doesn't concern the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but it's still something that has to do with Nigeria as a whole, and it has to do with the league in itself. And it's through this league that sometimes we expect coaches to pick talent from. So obviously it still has some kind of ripple effect to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But what really happened is something that is not nice. The fans, came out in numbers and started to destroy properties, attack players, attack officials, and do all manner of things. And what was the reason for this chaos? It was simply because Shooting Stars played at a 0-0 draw at home to Ikorodu City, and the fans were really angry. They were like, "How? Why would they play draw? Why would they play draw at home? This is that." So that was the only issue, and the fans started to attack, especially especially Shooting Stars fans. They were the ones that were really charged up to cause a lot of havoc, last night. And according to the reports, and even with the clips on the screen, as you can see, there were lots of vandalization of properties. For example, I think the Kodu City team bus was destroyed. The glass is broken. As fans were throwing stones on it. A few people were hurt as well. And I heard that the number of officials were also attacked, and also the Shooting Stars uh, players had to lock themselves up in their dressing room for more than an hour so that everything can die down. And the fans who were trying to hurt them, their own fans who trying to hurt them, so that they can, be tired and then go home, and then uh, allow the players to go home as well. So that was what happened. At the end of the day, it wasn't very easy, for these players to be rescued. It took the uh, intervention of extra security personnel, like the army people had to come around, with their cars and weapons to chase off all these violent supporters, before these players could go home to their respective families. And at the end of the day, these fans do these things out of ignorance. They do these things out of lack of understanding of, what a true fan should be all about, or what the role of a true fan should be all about. Because in their minds, they will be thinking that they are showing passion for football, they are showing love, they are showing loyalty. But at the end of the day, what they are showing is illiteracy, lack of understanding of what role they have as a fan. They're also showing, you know, violence, instead of passion. So these are basically what these fans are showing, and I think the league managers should be finding these fans. There should be some sort of punishment for these fans who do these kinds of things, and then there should also be plans to clean up these kinds of mess in the league, because whether you like it or not, this is definitely affecting Nigeria as a whole, in terms of football and how the world views us, and also how we develop, through that grassroots level up until the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But leave your reaction. What do you think about this? But moving on, guys, the legend of Super Eagles of Nigeria, Osaze Odemwingie, has now come out to react to the issue concerning Coach Chelle and his team, and how difficult it is for them to actually qualify. Odemwingie thinks that the issue is not about the players in themselves. He feels that we have adequate players to prosecute this job. He feels that we have more than enough talent to qualify, but that the issue for him is that we lack technicality, that we are lacking, you know, we are lacking doing the right things at the technical level to get these boys ready, to get results. And if you recall, a few days ago, Osaze Odemwingie also talked about, his love for Nigerian football, and how he's been interested in Nigerian football, whether in terms of investing or in terms of uh, coming as a coach. And even back then, he said that there's a possibility that he might coach the national team. That it's not an idea that he is opposed to that. He still has love for football. That if he comes back as a coach, then he's definitely going to, fancy his chances of coaching the national team. So, Sazi's own words, when he had a chat with Brilla FM, he said, I've been following Nigeria's results closely. We are struggling to secure victories and we are learning the hard way. It would be embarrassing to miss out on two consecutive World Cups. Watching the national team, I see that we are not playing the kind of football we are known for. We need to be more technical and learn from our mistakes. And then his comment about coming to coach the team, sometime in the future, if he becomes a coach. He said, I'm hoping to be involved at some point. I love Nigerian football. I've been a fan even before playing. When I'm a coach, I could have a few Nigerian players in my team and maybe I could coach the national team. So, you know, keep your fingers crossed. Osaze Odemwingie is saying that, there's a possibility that we'll be seeing him come through the ranks, as a coach for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We know how well he did for the team. We know how big of a legend he is for the national team, and of course, his memory is still very fresh in our heads of the goals that he scored for us and how he thrilled us with his pace, his ability to shoot left and right, and all of the other attributes. But it's still going to be a big ask, in terms of whether he will be a good coach for the team. Of course, we know that playing is actually different from coaching. So maybe he's destined to be a coach, or maybe not. But obviously, that is still something that we are going to wait to find out. But as it stands, the man is enjoying himself being a professional golfer. As you might know, he after he retired, he actually went into golfing school where he learned the course and the sports for a couple of years, and then finally, was certified to be a professional golfer. But right now we know that he still has love for football and he plans to return under a coaching capacity.